All right. So we've been talking before this, everybody. We're starting the recording now with my producer extraordinaire, Mitch Anderson.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. And we're going to be talking a little bit about creating compelling content and logistical things that go behind that. That's why we wanted to do this early in the year because Mitch offers some unique servicing for people that are regulars on the show, which he's already done once and it worked great. And we're hoping that our regulars buy into this whole thing because it's not that expensive. We're going to talk about all of this here coming up. So that's the lead into what we're doing. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me. It's been, I think the last time I was on, it was about, what was it about 6 to 8 months ago, right?
Uh,
Nah, longer than that.
yeah, exactly. It was
Yeah, it was probably maybe about a year, I think is when I was on last, maybe.
18th of October in 22.
Wow, wow, wow,
Great.
wow.
Yeah, so a little over a year.
Yeah, I
But
think that you've only done about 600 shows since that one.
we're at my numbering is at 0223, and when we started at 0000, and that was when we rebranded. I think with you, I don't even know, man. It's like because we got a year going on 2 years now. I
Yeah,
mean, it's flying by. Let's get this. Let me get this. Let me get that other thing going. The software. Get that bad boy happening. Give me a sound check.
yeah. 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3. Check
Okay,
5 6.
here we go.
All
You
right,
ready?
I'm ready.
You know what? I'm gonna run downstairs and use the restroom real quick because I've got
Sounds
kids
good.
here and I don't want to be distracted. So
Yeah.
give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, your sweater, uh,
Can't hear you.
put it in real quick.
What's that?
Your sweater is like opposite. Your sweaters or what? Are you wearing a black hoodie or something?
Wearing a black zip up.
Oh, it looks like you're masked because of the background.
Oh, I have been, and it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because I have kind of found that wearing black or
Yeah.
dark clothes kind of fits with my background. Do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't know if it was an error of the mask,
Oh, no, 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 no.
if it was like cutting you out. Okay,
I
I got you.
wear black on purpose because
Okay.
it just sort of blends in
Pops.
better and it's
Yeah.
a consistency for me.
Okay.
So,
No, cool. Cool.
okay, I'll be right back. All right, give me love. Bye, baby. Now, next recording session, I probably will try to change up the color, or maybe see how that looks. But I just have oh, there's that pop again. See,
What is,
did not happen,
I don't understand.
and it's like,
It has to be a power issue somewhere.
well, the funniest thing is it is certainly something with that because I tested it. I didn't record over there in Wisconsin because I have a different power brick.
Yeah.
This power brick because I get a blinkiness off my power brick over there.
Oh,
It's weird for my monitors, but I've just gotten used to it. Here, I never get that. Here, I get the click out of the baby face. Over there, I did not. And I have it connected exactly the same. So it's something to do with the power brick, and it's fine. I mean, it's like, okay, as long as I don't get weird shit happening. So let's
yeah, we can fix that for about, I don't know. I think that we could probably be able to fix that for, my guess is between like 1 and 300, to have like a dedicated isolated power supply for your computer and your and for your interface.
let's
Which I
talk
think
about
could
yeah,
help.
let's talk about that because we got to have, we got to have consistency with this thing.
Right.
And all right, let me see here.
You're still recording, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's like I'll
Okay.
probably cut most of this out. But just goes to show you everybody who's watching this video that we have tech issues all the time. And if you
Mhm.
do content creation, you got to get used to it and you got to be able to deal with it and you got to be able to roll because
Yeah.
the things are going to pop, things are going to happen, things just again, it happens. So don't let weird, crazy things affect your thought process. And
No.
just keep on keeping on. Here we go. Let's get this bad boy going. And the reason I don't wear my big earphones
Hmm.
is because of the virtual background.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gives me
Gotcha.
makes me look like I've got a halo on. It's the weirdest look. It's crazy.
I always see you with a halo.
Yeah, thank you. I wish everybody did. All right, here we go. Let's go. Get ready for good times, rock and roll, baby. Here we go. Tom Matt Show coming to you, recorded live. How else would you record something? It better be live. Last week, Dr. Avellino was back in our Performance Living Chapter 2. That's going to become a big topic category on the radio program, podcast slash whatever the heck we do here, which is many different things. But Dr. Avellino is really stoked. And we'll be talking about him a little bit here with our guest coming up. My producer extraordinaire, Mitch Anderson, will be our guest here in a second. But Tony was here and we talked about brain health, mental health, and that's where we're going to be going with picking his brain. Being a pediatric neurosurgeon, you can't have anybody better to talk about all of these features. Having a physician with his expertise, it's unbelievable that we have. We're just blessed. I mean, it's just awesome. So, all right. Calling today's episode Creating Compelling Content. And the reason I called it that is because the content creation in this world is so vast and so diverse. And there's so many pieces that go into this that if you've ever thought about side action in your life, if you've ever thought about, hey, I'd like to do something like this, or I'd like to write a book, or I'd hate to, whatever you want to try to do, these points that we're going to share with you today can absolutely help you save a lot of trial and tribulation because we've been doing this now. We're in our 13th season doing this stuff. And as I just said in the beginning of the video, not on the radio show, but I'll say it on the radio show now, is if you're going to get into this kind of stuff, be prepared for tech issues all the time. Because once you become sort of okay with it, then when they do occur occasionally, then you can be okay with your flow, especially the way we do things, because this stuff is recorded live, as I said,
Mhm.
and away we go. So again, creating compelling content takes a lot of different factors. And I'm going to bring in my man here, do some This Is Your Life with Mitch Anderson, and then we will give you all kinds of great content and tips on you creating your content. And welcome back to the radio program, my very good friend, the man behind it, the guy I say every show, Mitch Anderson. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Glad to be here, man. Talking content creation. I thought it was really interesting, right off the bat when you said whether it's writing a book or because, in the modern, well, now happy 2024 of the fiscal calendar, and you said writing a book. And if someone was to ask, what do you consider content creation in 2024? I am thinking like what? If you asked a room out of 100 people, 3 to 5 of them would say write a book.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not. Most of them would, you're probably right. It's such a low number. Probably would be more like maybe two,
Yeah,
but who
exactly.
knows, right? I mean,
Yeah,
because content is so diverse, and that's the whole point of what
right.
we're doing here. Writing a book is no different than creating video, than creating a podcast, and it's all basically this. It's all storytelling, right, Mitch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. It is.
All right, so
This
let's
is
do
going to
that.
be an interesting conversation.
It's going to be a really interesting conversation. And thank you for taking the time to do this. It's good that we're going to do this in the early in the season
Hmm.
of 2024. And let's do the usual. This is your life. Take
Yeah.
we got 6, 8, 7 minutes
Yeah.
going on
Yeah.
here. Talk
Yeah.
about fam. How was your holiday season? Talk about everything that's going on.
Sure.
Well, brother.
Sure. Yeah. Well, family is, uh, we are all safe. And so that's something that Deborah and I have been repeating to one another, and we're, really trying to work through the hard, through communication, and through parenting. 7 and now a 4-year-old in the house. And yeah, it is a ride, that's for sure. But I would say overall, it's we're well, working on accountability within a relationship structure and all the different hats that, I'm just going to speak for myself, but just like all the different hats I wear, and which is not unique to all human beings. We all wear so many hats. But I'm just starting to really take it much more seriously about the accountability of what that means to be in these different roles, that I'm in. And I think that there's just been hustle mentality, that has overshadowed some of that, growth, in that way, where I've been moving too quick, Tom.
Well, the whole thing, Mitch, is we're getting conditioned more and more with this quick hitter. That's the thing where you say, when you ask the question, how many people out of 100 would you say about content creation? How many would say
Yeah.
write a book? I mean, how many would say write a 300 word blog? Maybe a lot more because everything is so compartmentalized, everything is clickbait oriented, and it's like what's hot today. I want to
Yeah.
ask you though what you meant by, I like the line, I wrote this down, work through the hard. And having
Hmm.
children your age, and you're a young guy, it's like, what did you mean by that?
Yeah. So, like working through the hard is, in my opinion, it's verbalizing, you know, out loud, uh, what I'm struggling with, and what I'm not. But it's more of the saying things like, um, I've been really working on slowing down drinking, and
For you.
it's having like the conversation of like, yeah, I'm not doing well with this today, and communicating that outwardly, in this case to, my partner, um, my wife Deborah, or best friend Jord, and having that, um, coming saying those things out loud from, not a place of shame, but of a place of uh, support. Because if I do believe that people are innately good and innately come from a place of love, and would much rather uplift someone, than shame them, especially when you're partnered up for life kind of thing, right? But there's in my brain, it I don't know if it's being trained or if it's a learned experience, to really bury those types of things where everything's okay. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Well, I'm not doing fine. And I think that's part of the being in the hard, is saying like, yeah, I'm not fine. Like having my phone on do not disturb so I don't get derailed in certain ways. Like that's a big step, I guess.
That is.
So yeah, that's where it's at.
You got a minute before we go into
Yeah.
wrap this segment. Talk about the boys a little bit, how they doing, and then we'll take a break.
Yeah, they're doing good. They're really doing good. Ollie is crushing it. He's just turned 4 and he's reading a bunch out loud. He's reading books to us, which is really exciting. And then Elman, he really plays his butt off on the piano, Tom. He can improv with the best of them. And that's very, very special to be a part of. And he really gifts the house with some sonic messaging
Awesome.
daily.
Elman is how old now?
7.
7. So these are a good tip. I'm going to carry this through, Mitch, because we're going to go to break here.
Sure.
Mitch Anderson's our guest today, everybody. He's my producer extraordinaire. The guy is he's the kingpin, puts everything together. We're going to talk about creating compelling content and what Mitch was just talking about with inspiring because Mitch we'll talk about music and his love of music and the thing that they're inspiring with their children about being influenced by music and how that can help you and help our children grow into being sustainable human beings. That's the whole point of parenting, everybody. The whole point of parenting is making our children self-sustainable and letting them fly. All right. Again, creating compelling content with Mitch, the man, Anderson. You're listening to the Tom Mann Show. Freaking cake, baby.
That was nice.
Real nice. All right, let's do our thing here. What do you think of Vanessa's work on our virtual assistant?
Yeah, she's been crushing it.
Yeah, she's doing such a good job. I want to try and we'll see about getting her some more clients, maybe. I don't want to give her somebody who's going to steal her away because it's like kind of being selfish here. It's like, well, I'm being honest. I mean, like for you, if you wanted to hire her at the rate that she charges, and everybody that's out there that's watching this, who we hired a couple months ago, and if you notice on our Instagram and all of our postings, things are looking much sharper because she's doing a great job.
Yeah, she is.
So, and then she goes through and finds our shows and our audio clips, and she puts together these video packages, and it's like, it's so sweet. So, anyways, back to the radio show. Here we go. Make sure I got my cursor here. This is where I messed up once in a while. Here we go. This segment is sponsored by Craig Stiles, our Ameriprise financial advisor, and we hope your Ameriprise financial advisor. Full disclosure, Craig's got all of our retirement zone savings. We might even talk about some retirement zone savings between transfer of wealth. It's part of the show today with my guest, Mitch Anderson. Your financial advisor and ours, Craig Stiles, can help you plan for the life you want today and well into the future with the right financial advisor. Life can be ism, everybody. Be brilliant. Call Craig. Numbers coming at you here. 1-800-528-1355. Local number 517-483-4893. Email craig.stiles@ampf.com. Offices are located at 2400 Lake Lansing Road. Suite B is in Brilliant. B-ism, Lansing, Michigan 48912. I don't want to scare anybody off with you're listening to this podcast and you're in California or you're in Texas or Mexico or wherever the heck you are. Ameriprise is a huge company. And the thing about our sponsors are all very, very networked and connected. And that's a pipeline into good people. And that's what we try to do here is being a connector. I pride myself on being a connector. My producer, Mitch Anderson, is the same way. We all want to do the good thing for everybody and connect people with good people, because when we connect good people with good people, good things happen. That's the way it works in the universe. I mean, it's absolutely no doubt about it. Here are stations that have carried us in the past. I say this because I want to be grateful to any station that carried us throughout the longevity of our programming. It doesn't matter. It's just, I'm grateful forever for anybody that listened to us. WGHM was the first to carry us there in Grand Haven. WGIM 1240 AM in Lansing is the flagship of the Michigan Talk Network, where we are syndicated all over the Midwest. WJRW 1340 AM in Grand Rapids carried us for a long, long time. WKOQ 1490 Muskegon Whitehall. WYPV FM 94.5 Mackinac City. And of course, our PBS affiliate at Michigan State University, which we're very proud to say, WKAR 102.3 FM and AM 870 News Talk. Sundays at 5. You can catch them all. It's all good. Again, thank you to Craig Stiles for creating Decedary Analytics, where we are making light of weighted decisions. That is his proprietary algorithm for all of our financial fitness episodes. And of course, if you want to get any of our sponsors, the easiest way, of course, is to go to our website, tommattshow.com, go to the bottom of the page, click on through. We have friends there too, but our 3 main sponsors are there between Jamie, Brock, and Craig. They're the ones who are helping us so much, and we're so grateful. And that's why when I don't do reads for people when we have sponsors, I do love, and I want to share that with people, and I want them to be trusting in that. My integrity means a lot. And so that's that. Back to our episode today with my bro, another brother from another mother. He could be a son from another mother too. I mean, Mitch Anderson, creating compelling content. Probably better that he'd be a son, because it'd be kind of odd if I had a brother that was in his 30s. But you know what I'm saying, right? Mitch, I mean, you're my brother, you're my
Hey,
son,
hey. Yeah,
whatever,
absolutely. Yes,
whatever.
yes.
So, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with the family, or do we want to get into the
No,
topic?
no, into the topic, but I did want to say real quick, a very fast shout out to Brad over there at WKAR. Um, he's a really stand-up program director.
Oh yeah, they're so solid. The thing that they like about us, and again, this gets back into the topic today, Mitch. I thank you for saying that. And Brad, thank you for everything you do for us at WKR. And if we could do anything to help promote anything over there, you let us know. We'll be happy to do that. Of course, we've been with WKR for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, the packaging of our content. That's what the staff at WKR would tell me when I would go over there when I was still working full time at the university, is we love your packaging because it's always consistent, it's always on time, and you guys deliver. And it's like it's a done deal. We never worry about anything. And that's all on the guy we're talking to today, Mitch Anderson. See, there's pieces that go into all of this content creation. So let's step into the whole pieces thing, Mitch, because we've been talking about creating compelling content. And pre-production, we were talking about, and you were saying, well, I don't know about the content. I'm not really. You are absolutely a content creator, big time. But what did you mean by that? Because there's probably people listening to this that are going, what, how does this fit me? How can this help me? Go ahead. Talk about it, please.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like the term content creator is synonymous with millennial, or synonymous with boomer, or synonymous with Gen Z, whatever it may be, where I think that the term content creator is it's so large and means so many different things, but that it's such a buzzword kind of, but it's morphed into something more than that I don't quite know how to decipher in my head yet. Because I think that there is, in my opinion, anyways, some toxicity within that word, or those two words, content creator, content creation, because I think that there's an innate pressure put on that label that is one of like expediting, or rapidness, if rapidness is a word.
It
But
is now.
it is now, yeah. Rapidity, would that be there? I don't know. But I think it's a lot of hustle mentality with stuff like that, I don't know, Tom. I think I don't associate with that word because I just don't jive with that for my mental health, of trying to just like crank stuff out, crank at, you're doing it every day. You're
Every
so
day.
many videos, so many different shorts and long forms and uploads, and yeah, it is quite the feat to undertake something like that. And there is a mold that fits everyone, though. I do believe that, as far as like content goes, to
Think
express
about it
yourself.
this way, everybody. And we're talking to Mitch Anderson, our producer extraordinaire. Mitch has helped us grow into becoming the high performance machine that we are now. And I'm very grateful to him. But think about creating compelling content. You could think of creating compelling story,
Hmm.
or what is your story, or what is the story. And so that's where we're going. Mitch, we got a minute to go before we go. Set this up.
Sure.
Tell people about the where you want to take this thing when we come back, and we'll take a quick break.
Uh, yeah, I just think that there's like I said, there's room for everybody within that content piece. Um, the lines have just been so blurred, in my opinion, between like, and now you put AI in it as well. So not only is like, do I have the right microphone? Do I have the right camera? Do I have like the right story? And now it's competing it's a very competitive space rather than collaborative, I feel. And that part is kind of bothersome, and uninspiring, to me. But
Hold that
yeah,
thought, because the collaboration is where we are going to take this, everybody, because you do need, if you're going to be good at this, if you're going to have any longevity with this, you're going to need to know some of the specifics with the collaboration,
yeah.
finding professionals that can help you get there. How do you budget? How do you do this? How do you find these people? Those are the things we're going to talk about when we come back. Again, creating compelling content story with our producer extraordinaire, Mitch Anderson. This is the Tom Mitchell. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I know. I like that. Yeah,
Rockers.
most definitely. Trying to think that where I wanted to take that one was,
Well, where I think we should go next is let's pull in Black Circle
yeah,
Radio.
oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, 15
Let's talk
years.
about Black
Yep.
Circle Radio.
And
That's
that,
why I'm a host, dude.
yep,
I think
there
those
you
things.
go. Thank you. And that
You're
goes in with the
my subject
music
matter
too.
expert. Let me make it easy for you. It's
Appreciate
just like
that.
let's talk about what was your vision behind Black Circle Media, radio, whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah,
how.
Black Circle Radio is fine.
Okay, so let me do my Jamie Reed, and then we will rock on. Here we go, bro. Go damn dry in here. Here we go. Third segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by great guy, Jamie White. You got to go check out his first episode with us. It was fantastic. Talking about the business of law and all of that, and his intro and how he got. That's the thing we were just talking about with Mitch. Is like for today's episode, talking about content and story creation. White Law is awesome, and the story of what Jamie shared with us and what he will continue to share with us on our show as one of our sponsors, and he's going to be a quarterly regular, if not more so, is all of these different variables that go into why you need professionals to be in your wallet, your purse, your phone, whatever, wherever you store your key people. You need to have these numbers ready and there, and at least know who you're going to go to. White law is where justice meets compassion. And I love that line so much. White law is where justice meets compassion. White law is your advocate in times of need. Long pause. They are there to listen as we are, support and fight for what you deserve. And he's got the track record, and he's got the experience, and he's got the network of people to make this happen for you. Contact White Law today. For your free consultation, visit whitelawpllc.com or call 517-777-9785. And again, reminding you all that you can go to the homepage, Tom Matt Show. We want to make this very simple for you. Go to the homepage. His banner's there. Click on through. Go talk to the staff. They are the bomb. All right, back to our producer, my very good friend, Mitch Anderson. Creating compelling content story, however you want to frame this up. I want to encourage people to think about this because this was our exit strategy for when we jumped into the retirement zone. And your retirement zone could be content creation, could be telling stories, it could be enlightening people, could be helping people, assisting others. Do you want to help people not do the stumbles that you went through? That's what we're talking about here. That's where we're trying to help you because the world is growing faster and faster. And as Mitch just said, with the AI stuff and all of that, it ain't slowing down, everybody. I'm
Mm-mm.
telling you right now, it's going to keep growing and going and going. So that brings us to Black Circle Radio and Black Circle Media and Black Circle. What is Black Circle Radio and why is it important for people to understand that that is your brainchild, Mitch? Go ahead, share the story, please.
Yeah, well, thanks, Tom. Black Circle Radio is my program. It was 15 years. We're in our 15th season. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks of all vinyl record broadcasting. And that was put together by Arc of All, Jordan and I, co-founders, and put that together in 2009 while I was at Central and in the broadcasting program over there. Um, and from there, it's gone and turned into a business model of some sorts and to producing. Man, I added it up. Someone asked me a couple weeks ago, like how many audio uh, podcasts or radio shows have I produced for that specifically talk about audio or music or record industry or whatever. And that number was five. And then the number of programs that weren't audio specific was six. And so I thought, no, seven. And that was pretty eye-opening, I guess, in a reflective way to be like, wow, produced for 12-ish programs. That's a lot of shows. That's a lot of messages that go to, all different outlets, all different years. And yeah, it was a lot. But Black Circle really I consider is a close friend of mine. It's a space where once a week I can for 2 hours really clear my head and get some stuff, say some things that music puts much more eloquently than I can a lot of times. Um, and so and it's come through so many different iterations as well. One of the big ones was getting a record lathe so I can cut my own vinyl. And then that stemmed into doing all original music beds for the program, so we don't have copyright issues with stuff.
So let me ask you a
Yeah.
question, because some of the music that you hear on our show, Mitch Anderson's our guest here, but let me interrupt you for a moment here, because when you say that about being able to press your own vinyl, if
Hmm.
someone is listening to this programming and say they're a musician
Hmm.
and they wanted to get with you and they wanted to press an album
Hmm.
or they wanted to press something, is
Yeah.
that something that you could do? Is that something that we would encourage?
So I
How
have
would that work?
done I've I've consulted for a lot of artists throughout the country and internationally. Yeah. Um and I don't really cut I personally really don't cut for other people right now.
But
Just
you could consult.
because oh yeah. Yep. And so the vinyl record industry is something that I'm I work in, daily, I would say.
It's a very niche. And then this is another question I had for you, Mitch. Mitch Anderson's our guest today, creating compelling content. But when you started Black Circle Radio 15 years ago,
Hmm.
the demise of vinyl was pretty much here. Everybody was like, forget vinyl, forget vinyl. Now it's come full circle.
Nice.
I mean, look at
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah,
Everybody's
it's
everybody's um what am I trying to say? They're finding vinyl again. It's like, well, this has been around for a while.
yeah, I mean, and it never went anywhere. And so like the that it disappeared, I think was a I think that was something that was preached to the masses in order to push different formats and to have consumers go in the way that the market wanted them to go. because vinyl never disappeared. Cassettes are still being made. They never went anywhere. Um, and so there was just too much overhead costs for manufacturers to do vinyl when they could sell CDs and their profit margins were much better. And they could also sell it under the guise of higher sound quality, which just isn't true. But there was, and then enter the world of like the download on iTunes. That happened before all the streaming stuff. Where you could still download your music, but you would own it. But now you're paying for services and you're only renting. You stop paying for the service, then your music's gone and all that kind of stuff. So that's a whole bit. But the reason Black Circle and vinyl uh, came to me was because of, again, my mental health. Like I was bored to tears sitting in a radio station having a computer pick songs for me. I couldn't handle it. I almost dropped out. And then Black Circle kind of came to be. And that was a huge thing. And it's taken so many different avenues, but the music is 100% at the core of that.
See,
With
this is the
Archibald.
this is the
Yeah.
whole point, Mitch. This is why I'm glad we're doing this episode. Again, Mitch Anderson's our guest today. Mitch is our producer extraordinaire for the radio programming and all the podcasted content, creating compelling content. When you find yourself in that sort of dark space where you're feeling like, oh, this is a waste of my time. And believe me, I've been through it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
You just have to have faith and maybe you pivot a little bit to
Hmm.
re-energize your creative spirit, right, Mitch? I mean, a
Oh
minute to
yeah. I mean,
we'll go to break here.
100%.
Take us to break.
Yeah. And really the reason that I'm not cutting records for other people um right now or for the other artists is it is selfish. It's a selfish reason. And the reason for it is I don't I can't really take because I have to cut the records one at a time, each individually. I can't take listening to someone else's music that many times. It breaks my ears. I mean, like it could be a wonderful song, but if someone wants 50 cuts of say a single or a 12-inch, what it's called lathe cuts. That's what I have. Is a record lathe. But listening to someone's album 50 times in a row, Tom, I can't do it, man.
We're going to go to break here. Mitch Anderson's our guest, everybody, creating compelling content. Talk more about this, where we can help you, thinking about your side action, your refinement
Yeah.
zone action, whatever you want to do here. Again, Mitch Anderson's our guest. This is the Tom Mann Show. Boom.
Yeah, that does have a tie into what I can follow up with, and that's just um finding the way, because I said selfish, not like not having, I can't
Where
take
I
that.
thought we should go now to build into this is let's talk about the story of Tony and how you assisted making the content better. You
Uh-huh.
made the suggestion, you offer this service and
Yeah.
play with that whole thing and just
Mhm.
sort of because that I think is very powerful.
Yeah,
Would
I
you like
think that we
like
could
that?
do that. We could do that part, and then also we could talk about the music, about the releases with Jordan and I,
Okay.
because we did, yeah, your custom music, we did
Okay.
the
Let's go
acoustic,
there.
that
Let's
type of
talk about
stuff.
the custom music where you would do that for somebody who
Hmm.
wants to create a podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Your
Tony
assistant
too.
and
Both are
Tony.
good.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Here we go. Good. Perfect. Got it. Fourth segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Again, full disclosure, we use our sponsor services. We use our sponsor services. We trust our sponsors. That's why they're sponsors. Brock, Jamie, Craig, awesome. I mean, trust. Call Brock today, 517-853-6408 is the office number. The super secret, not so super secret number anymore is 517-303-3262. Let me repeat that again, everybody. Brock's cell phone number. This is text him Tell him you heard it from Tommy. They refer to me as Tommy all the time, which is fine. This comes from radio. Helps him know that he's getting leads from us. That's perfectly fine. 517-303-3262, or you can go to kwsellingteam.com, kwsellingteam.com. And as I said for Craig, Jamie, these are big companies. They are very connected across the country, and they have friends everywhere. So don't be dissuaded if you're hearing this and you're in Alabama right now, where our friend Dave DeMarco lives, and you're like, Keller Williams, why, they're no, they have offices everywhere. They can help you make decisions, informed decisions, sell your home without hassles, do it the right way. Most agents start spending money on marketing when they get your lead, when they get your contract. Brock is way ahead of the curve, has been way ahead of the curve, and he is doing this because he wants to get you the best number, just like he did for us, for Sandy and I, when we sold Big House Holt and we bought Little House Lansing. Again, thank you to Mike Deadman. Mikey, how are you? Our buyer's agent through Keller Williams. Do it. Find these guys. They can help you. And then you can move on with what you need to do, like creating content, telling stories, cutting music, doing all those things. Let's tie this together. Mitch Anderson's our guest today, everybody, creating compelling content, story, whatever. Okay, so we started talking about a little bit of what Black Circle Radio is.
Mhm.
And Mitch is very diverse in his talent. And what he does for us is a ton more than just producing the show. He has created music beds for our programming. Everything you hear in the programming, when they hear it on the air, on the podcast, that's all from Mitch Anderson. And so this is where you want to leverage his services. Plus, we have other things that he has done for some of our guests. And let's talk about those things now. So, what type of thing, with your expertise now, 15 years with Black Circle Radio, and the things that you've learned, talk about that, the music behind the scene, the technology behind the scenes. It's a big melting pot. Go right ahead, Mitch, please.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. And the music that you hear on this program is created by the Source of Light and Power, and that's with band leader Archibald Jordan Price, and myself. And Jordan is he is a musical savant, and he's my it's very special that for me that he's the godfather of my youngest son, and I get to play music with my favorite musician like every day. Is incredible. He's my favorite guitar player. He's my favorite drummer. The way he sounds, Tom. You can hear it. You hear it. But we've done quite a bit of original music for programs such as yours, the Acoustics podcast. We just scored a short film that's going to be, it is submitted to film festivals all over the world, which is really, really exciting. And we just completed our big goal. We released an album a month for all of 2023, and it ended up being 13 albums in a row because the first one dropped December of 2022. So yeah, that was and it's sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com for all that. We're not on any streaming services because the music streaming services, in my opinion, really dislike musicians. And so it's all on Bandcamp there. But 13 records, we did it. And we are
That's
ready to play and produce, man. We are so ready.
That's great. And so, how that applies to people that are listening to this episode, Mitch, and
Hmm.
say they have an idea for a podcast,
Hmm.
give them an idea, like, because you can't just go out and take other people's music and put it on the front and back end of your podcast, everybody. You can't do that. That's
Right.
you get in some big trouble for this.
Right.
You want to have everything copyrighted and have it tight, because once you become successful, I like to say that everybody who gets into their thing is going to become successful in
Hmm.
some aspect. You don't want somebody knocking on your door down the road saying, "Hey, by the way, you're going to give me all your money that you've been working so hard for because you used our music and you just didn't know." So again,
And
right?
it's
I
it's
mean,
twofold there too, Tom. With it really quickly becomes, in my opinion, a conversation of ethics. Really, when because yeah, sir, anybody can pay for a blanket license to shopped music, which is just auto generated, AI generated stuff where it's you just pick your sound and you're done there. Which is very interesting to me in a lot of ways. Um, but there's a lot of ways that you can very quickly take the human aspect out of programming and content, and having canned music, I think, is one of them. Um, that's a not a I really dislike it. And it's not supporting other people with it. That's what, the competitive rather than collaborative for that I mentioned earlier about content creation. The collaboration portion is really important for all of it and down to the music, man.
Well, let's piggyback off of that with the collaboration because you
Yeah.
do offer and you have offered, and this has worked for our guest with Dr. Avellino, Tony,
Yeah.
and our Performance Living now. Tell the story about why you asked me to get with Tony and then what we did to amplify his voice and
Mhm.
to make our content better. Tell that story, would you please? You got about 4 minutes to go before break.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Um, well, I was really intrigued by Dr. Avellino, the first episode that he was on, that I heard him. Um, but the issue was it was difficult for me to hear him. And so I mean, he's got such a cool, brilliant mind, right? And I wanted to hear him better. And I come from a place um, where you have to be able to hear yourself, kind of like a third eye thing, Um, and you have to be able to have a conversation with yourself. You have to be able to hear yourself internally and externally. And with Dr. Avellino, I think that was one of the issues. He couldn't hear himself well enough, and a lot of that is not it's not the person's fault. It's that flat out, like, the headphone output of your computer doesn't have enough gain a lot of time for you to be able to hear yourself or your whoever you're speaking with correctly. So things get lost, conversations get derailed, um, stumbling over words, stumbling over where you're going to go next. And it's the same aspect I take when I do live sound installs or whatever. And you want to be able to hear the message that you're showing up for. And if you can't receive it, then you can't listen internally to yourself and get anything from it. And so that's where, in my niche field of audio, uh, being able to, I just feel like it's important. I just feel like it's really important. Why do content if people are struggling or straining or hearing different words than what you're actually saying? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, and I wanted to hear more of what Dr. Avellino was saying.
So what
So,
did you do? We got a minute before we go to
yeah.
break here. We can finish the thread when we come back. But so what did you suggest to eliminate this issue or try to exacerbate the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I just suggested a trusted, sure microphone for him, the MV7, which is a USB version of the iconic SM7B, famously used by Michael Jackson. That was his microphone of choice. But and then getting a set of in-ear monitor headphones that are efficient, rugged, and have a good amount of gain, and are not punishing on the ears. Just something to make it feel more in the moment. And I think it really worked, Tom. And then did a setup with him.
Hold that thought because we're going to come back. We're going to finish that thread because I want everybody to know approximately what the cost was, ballparkish,
Sure.
for you to understand this. Again, Mitch Anderson's our guest today. Creating compelling content. We're doing more on the tech side of things when we come back. This segment is always special to us because it's the last one on PBS and it's the last segment of the podcast. Again, Mitch Anderson's here, creating compelling content. This is the Tom Mitch.
Almost like we've done this a couple times.
Yeah. So
It's nice. It's a
this
good
is
conversation.
the weird thing that happens occasionally. When I hit my space bar to
Mhm.
stop the recording,
Yeah.
typically works like 90% of the time, but sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes that's where I get my cursor will get off and I'll have to hit the little red stop button to get it going again,
Hmm.
to stop it. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's just like, and again, talking to the camera here when we're
Right.
talking about tech issues, these are things that you just have to be aware of and just work through because it's just it's part of the deal. If you let this stuff get you frustrated, you're not cut out for this gig because I'm going to tell you right now, perhaps your thing is going to be writing books. All right, Mitch, let's do the plug here. I'm going to do my website and all of that good stuff, and then I'm throwing it to you for your plug
Sure.
whatever you want, your
Sounds good.
numbers, your emails, George stuff, Arc of all, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, got it all?
I'm good.
Good. I figured you were. Here we go. This segment of the Tom Mann Show is sponsored by us. That would be Mitch, Sandy, myself. Our website is the window to how you connect with us. TomMattShow.com. You connect with all of our sponsors there. All of our video is there. It's one-stop shopping, baby. If you want to do the YouTube stuff, if you want to do the TikTok stuff, Instagram, all of that kind of good stuff, my hashtag dad talks that are very popular, go check them out. I mean, it's all right there at the website, TomMattShow.com, and you can find it all very, very simple. We want to make that website. That website gets looked at every day. It's getting updated weekly with all of the new content that we put out there, the new shows, the podcasts that go up there, plus all the video content. And it's been a fun ride. And that's what we're talking about today with creating compelling content with our extraordinarily talented producer, Mitch Anderson. Mitch, before we jump back into the tech and we finish the story of Dr. Avellino and our performance living new concept that we're working with on our episodes,
Hmm.
how would you like people to get a hold of you in case they need some consulting, if they need some tech updates, if they need some just how would you like people to go about doing that?
Yeah. I mean, probably blackcircleradio.com. Um, or the best, I guess, email would just be Black Circle Media Group at gmail.com. And
And
I'm on all socials, Black Circle Radio. You can just
if
Google
you're
Black
watching
Circle Radio.
if you're watching the video here, excuse me, Mitch, if you're watching the video here, listening to us on the radio show or the podcast, you want to check out the video because Mitch was very astute in putting his Black Circle Radio, his cap, right behind him. I have several of his shirts. His
Mhm.
merchandise is sweet. I wear these
Thank you.
shirts to the university when I work out. Students are like, where can I get one of those? Well, you just found the guy you
There
need
you
to get
go.
stuff from. Now, I don't know
Yeah,
if he's in too
yeah,
much into the merchandising of all that because that's another wrinkle into the content creation. But again, merchandise is
you got
content,
it. It is. Yeah, it is. It is.
all part of
And
it.
yeah, your sweatshirt came in too, Tom. I got a
Oh, good.
I got a nice sweatshirt over here waiting for you.
Great, man. I got to send you that old album I bought too a year ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yep, absolutely.
Let's continue the thread with Dr. Avellino and
Sure.
what was happening with that because this is something that's very important for people to understand with the tech side of things. Because you say you want to start a podcast, you want to start doing something like we're doing, which I would encourage everybody to do. It's fun. It's it's the right way to do it. But like so many of these people I see on national media, on the television, they use they I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I'm just an audio snob, but when it comes to some of these people, right, Mitch? I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
like you're listening to somebody, you're listening to a congressman or congresswoman
Hmm.
or senator, and they're talking to their laptop microphone, and it sounds like they're speaking in a tin can, which is kind of what was happening with Tony a little bit. It was tin can-ish,
Yeah.
and it makes me just and I know you're the same way. It just makes me want to watch my. Well, I'll click off. I mean, I won't even
Well,
watch it
have
because
I
it's.
told you my theory about that?
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I have a theory that audio is more important now, um, post uh post COVID, than it was during, because I believe, like you said, you checked out, right? Uh, I believe that there is a hidden or buried trauma response within humans when we hear that Zoom sound. You know what I'm talking? Everyone knows what the Zoom sound is now. And it snaps back to what that time was. And I found that very interesting. And so I think it's a huge, um, if you want to keep people away from your messaging, then remind them of trauma, you
Well,
know?
give them bad audio. Give
Yeah,
them those
exactly.
two things. Guarantee you, you're going to be a loser.
And it's like I can't. And so I think that that is what, if nothing else, than to be heard. Sure, that makes sense. But to make sure that to offer a space where people can stay connected within it, I think is just as important. And the two go hand in hand.
Oh, it's absolutely the fact. So again, back to Dr. Avellino,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have a couple of episodes, one that's already been produced up and is done. We have another one that's coming here with the performance living. What you guys want to do here is go and listen to the before and after.
yeah.
See the difference between what, because what Mitch will do with our stuff is he goes through very meticulous his production schedule and the way he does his content. He makes us sound better. I've given him some of my audio that for some reason things got goofed up and he'll fix
Yeah,
it.
it happens.
Sometimes you can't fix things. Sometimes it's just that's
We've
it.
had that happen. We've had to
Right?
can full episodes.
Right, exactly. When we're
Just
not putting
happens.
out, we cannot put out, we have obligations to our listeners
Yeah.
and we have obligations to our stations. Everybody that are fans of the show, we want to bring you the best quality. And so we have a hard and fast rule. We are not deviating from it. If it's bad, it's not playing. I don't care if the guest is whomever. I mean, I
I
can
mean,
think
I
of
can't remember
many,
who
many
that
people.
was the most. It happened like it was sometime early last year when it happened, and we were both like, "Ugh, crap, like this can't air." I wasn't looking forward to calling you, and you're like, this is, I totally hear you, but oh my gosh, been working for like 6 months to find a date to get this interview, and then the interview didn't work, and so we had
Right.
to redo it. I mean, that's all a part of it, part of the process.
And as we've learned and we've grown, because
Hmm.
we never did video up until last year when I
Yeah,
refired from the university. So everything's always been radio. You know, the funny thing too, Mitch, is I had one of our very good, Jason Munche, one of our good friends, and he's a very loyal fan to the show. I saw him recently and he mentioned to me, he said, it seems like you're doing more of the audio play by play than the radio storytelling that you used to do. And
mm,
I'm trying to figure out the balance of that. And it's like, that's an interesting point. And I want feedback from people. So if you hear something or you have suggestions or you have questions from myself or Mitch or whomever,
yeah.
those are things we want to know.
100%. I mean,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's a exactly.
so how do we continue to get better? With Tony's tech, you just bump that all up.
Hmm.
Talking to other people and doing consulting work, give people sort of an idea,
Yeah,
ballparkish numbers
yeah,
as to the setup for Tony, your tech support, the whole thing, because you were completely turnkey.
yeah.
We got a hold of him, he got a hold of you. I just made the connections. You guys worked it through. What are we talking cost wise for his headphones and this
Hmm.
very good mic that you got for him and the tech support and the
Yeah.
installation, all that? What ballpark that out?
I mean, ballpark, and from the way that I like to work, and there's a different person, just like there's a different producer for every program, and it's a different mentality for other different strokes for different folks for a lot of reasons. But the way that I like to work, roughly right in that like that 750 range, ish. Keep um I like to keep costs under a grand. Uh, for a multitude of reasons. But that's, I think about longevity, I think about warranty, I think about ease of setup and remote accessibility for tech support virtually, which I do quite a bit of. And yeah, that's where I like to be. And that also is a check on the individual who is seeking services like, okay, is this something I want to really do? Um, and so because I don't want to be in a spot where someone's investing, their resources, their time, everything, all that stuff, and then kind of fallen flat because they don't sound good when they hear themselves. So I want to, yeah, it's a check for myself and also for the individual that is looking to upgrade or create
Well, here's the thing
things.
about that. Thank you, Mitch, for saying that, because when you create content, don't get your don't think that you want to create the content and then go get the tech. My opinion
Mhm.
is get with somebody who can put you in the right direction for good tech, then create the content. Because if you do schlock audio, as Mitch was just saying, you're not gonna grow your audience. I mean, even your mom won't listen to it. So it's like, I hate to say it, but you know what? Your spouse, significant other, they might. So
Maybe.
I don't know. Hey, Mitch, we got a couple minutes to go before we got to wrap the show. What's your takeaway for this episode, creating compelling content? What would be your takeaway for the listeners?
Um, my takeaway would be that if if it's something that's interesting to you, there's no wrong time to begin. And there's I don't consider artificial intelligence. I just don't consider it. I don't consider artificial intelligence when I do what I do because I operate from a, personally, I look to be fulfilled in what I'm doing and not be distracted by things like that, or by trends. I don't really get distracted by those either. Being aware, sure, that's something, but I, yeah, I just think that if it's something that someone's interested in, uh, to try it and do it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I still don't know what's going to happen. Tom, do you? I mean,
Well, you just can't. I'll leave it with it. But the word that came to me that I wrote down here, and I'm going to take this through to close here, Mitch,
yep.
is don't let fear paralyze you,
Mm.
because don't let snarky people paralyze you. If you have a vision and if you have a passion and you have a goal, get after it. If you want to get some consulting with me, you want to get some consulting with Mitch, you can always go to our website, tommattshow.com. And in case you missed all of Mitch's lead in for all his, always go to our website and just say, hey, I need to talk to Mitch about the setup he did for Dr. Avellino. We can do that. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you. Thanks again to Mitch Anderson. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. We will talk to you next weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Comment Show's production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Thank you, Mitch, for being with us. We are out.
Nice.
Took it right up to the very bitter end.
Yeah, that I think that worked out well.
Worked out great, man. Worked out
Yeah,
great.
that was good.
Back
That was
cut.
really good.
When you hear it, you'll see what we're doing here, and cut it up, and we'll let Vanessa do some cutting up too, and
Sure.
continue to build this out, and away we go. So
Yeah.
thank you so
I
much for
hope that
what you
didn't come
do.
off as um I struggled with the number, but about saying like under a grand,
That's
and
great.
I do,
That's exactly what you and I talked about.
yeah,
So,
and I
and
do
you
want
don't want
to,
to have
but
a sticker shock with people, but you also don't want to give them the false sense of like, hey, it's $50. No,
right.
this
I
this is
mean,
serious. And we're still recording, so we want people to understand. If you're watching the tail end of the show here, everybody,
yeah,
we
yeah.
want you to be successful. We want people. I never become envious of anything. What we do here is we want to empower people. That's what this show's about. The show's about empowering people and bringing a good story to life. I mean, that's one of the taglines for the show. And so
And it's
we
not
want
like to say you can't do amazing thing. I mean, my phone is all cracked and, all beat up and all this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, you can still do neat things and start creating with whatever is at your disposal.
Yep,
Um, that's practice, right? You gotta put the practice in. Um,
right.
but
That's
as
right.
far as that that type of mind, um, or drive that I really enjoy working with, is the people that have put in those 1-2 years of practice, and are ready for the next step. Um, and can communicate that forward. So it's not,
There's
I've been
levels to everything. There's levels
absolutely,
to everything.
absolutely.
All right, brother,
So
I got to run here. I'll talk to you soon, and
sweet.
I'll be in touch. Thank you for what you did.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Tom.
See you, brother.
See you, man.
Peace out. Mitch Anderson's the bomb. Can't can't get over how much he's made us better. So for any of you that are out there that are looking to perhaps do some of this type of storytelling, content creation, digital creation, whatever, these are good resources. Send us a note, tom@show.com, and we will help you get in touch with Mitch. He's a great resource. And again, I try to tell people when I coach people as a performance coach, we just got to raise our levels. That's it. Have a great day, everybody. Love y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.